Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Chinese qualifier for Starladder Season 9. We've got day 3 of 3 for you. The end of the 14-round robin is upon us. How are you, Merlini?
How are you doing? Sir Ziori?
I'm feeling fresh. How are you?
I'm doing decently.
Yeah?
We both got our naps in today, so
yeah.
we're fresh and
Now that
ready.
we're on the last day, we finally have our sleep schedules adjusted so we can go back to normal. That's something to look forward to. But this is it. Hopefully today we will have 2 teams moving on, and I say hopefully because there's always potential for a tiebreaker scenario when there's a 4-team group stage such as this. First series today, we've got CIS versus Hearts Get Together, HGT, and we actually have some standings to look at. HGT, they are 1-3 right now, and CIS, they are 2-2.
Yeah, such confusing names, CIS.
Yes, it is very confusing. They are Chinese. This is the Chinese qualifier. It is confusing.
Don't get confused, guys.
Don't get confused.
Like me.
Yeah, don't be like Ben. He's very confused. Just kidding.
Time to introduce the team that you just introduced.
Yeah. So over here we've got CIS. Merlini. All right, let's introduce Team CIS.
Okay, here we have Alchemist and Bat Rider. So we did see a Bat Rider yesterday, and he was a very good Bat Rider.
Yes.
Like one of the best I've seen in the Chinese scene. Xiao 8 is probably the best that I've seen, and
Do you remember which team that was from
I don't remember.
Yeah, when you're up in the wee hours of the night, things.
Oh, it was the second
go
game,
together.
right? It was the second series.
The second series, okay.
So it was DT versus CIS in the second series.
Yeah.
And
it was maybe CIS.
It was
playing
maybe
Bat Rider.
CIS.
I honestly can't remember either. I really should be able to remember, but anyhow.
Well, the other names are like numbers and stuff on Hearts Get Together. How are you supposed to remember?
It's true. It is really difficult. With basically a lot of the players are either letters or numbers, and well, CIS they're a little bit different. They've got Ruoli, June. Last night we got to see June versus in July, which was interesting. The months going at it.
June was the in July was the Dark Seer. He was the offlaner, so that means June. Who was June? Was he the still a mid? He was the Ember, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Inflame was the offlaner.
Inflame is their offlaner. Ruoli is a support. AO is a support. Demons is their mid player. So, process of elimination. June must be their carry player.
Carry? Okay. So it must have been Demons then, because Demon's the mid player. So Demon has the Bat Rider, and Demons was a fantastic Bat Rider. I think he was. It might have been another team, but I'm pretty sure it was. Short-term memory is not a requirement to be a caster.
Especially when you're up all hours of the night. So let's look at this draft a little bit. The band's a little different than what we saw yesterday. Slark Venomancer from HGT.
Rubik and Weaver, dang, those are heroes that you don't see banned very often at all.
Well, to be fair, we have seen Weaver banned out in this tournament. Not as much last night, but the night before when I was flying solo, I saw a lot of Weaver bans. So
people aren't very scared of Weaver because they they tend to draft more like longish disables now, especially with like Lion being fairly popular. Like there's Bat Rider that's reasonably popular, and Slark actually kind of crushes Weaver. He like completely hinders his mobility with that pounce.
The pounce and the leash. Puts a collar on him, walks the dog. So Invoker was actually the first pick here from HGT, and curious if that will be a Quas Wex or Quas Exort. We haven't seen a whole lot of Invoker play throughout this tournament. Little bits here and there, but that will be interesting.
Yeah. He's not your like best team fight hero, and the Chinese like to draft a lot of team fight. We also this Clinks was huge yesterday. They played. I'm pretty sure it was CIS, and they played a really nice Clinks, and they did a 1-1-1, which means 3 solos and 2 roamers. So it looks like it might be the classic CM Alk roaming duo. This was probably the best roaming duo in 6.79, 6.80. It's got nerfed a little bit because Crystal Maid and Alchemist both received pretty significant nerfs.
Well, how big was CM's nerf actually? It was -3 base intelligence. Was that right?
I thought that was the previous patch.
That was the previous patch. So then what was her nerf in 6.8?
I can check. 6.80 CM.
Wow, does that really? If you Google that, it really goes straight to Dota? Wow.
I would hope so.
Would you look at that?
So I need to change log. Anyways, you can go ahead.
Yeah. Anyhow, they both have been nerfed as supports, though. That's the moral of the story here. These Chinese teams, they love themselves some support Alchemist, and he's worked pretty well, as you mentioned yesterday.
Oh yeah, base intel reduced by 3.
Yeah. So nailed it.
But that also means her base damage is nerfed too.
Base damage, a little bit of regen, mana pool.
I thought didn't she get nerfed in 6.79 too, or am I just?
I want to say yes, but that was so long ago. It was 2 patches ago.
That's true.
Now it just feels like all those changes that were crazy back then are just part of the game. I mean, they are, but it's crazy how quickly like the patches just become like second nature, you know?
Yeah.
Ten
well, anyways, Looks like cards get together. Ooh,
Radiant
so
Bane.
Dragon Knight. No,
Dragon
I think
Knight.
Dragon Knight's the more interesting one
You think
because.
so? Well, I say Bane's interesting just because we haven't seen these teams.
Oh,
picking
I'm only
Bane
saying
very
Dragon
much.
Knight's interesting because they have Invoker, Dragon Knight, and Timber. So they might do an Invoker safe lane, which is something that you don't see very often at all.
The last time I saw that, I think it was Hani doing it. So yeah, and that was a while ago. That was probably the last season of Starladder, honestly, playing Exort Invoker. So that could be interesting. And safe lane, do you think Wex or Exort makes a difference
It
versus
depends.
safe lane or mid?
If it's a one-on-one situation, you can get away with a lot more.
Mhm.
You can go Quas Exort. You can go Quas Exort against a tri-lane. It's very risky. You can use your Forge Spirits to scout, but
Yeah.
in general, Quas Wex is safer for a tri-lane because you can just Tornado if you're in deep poo-poo.
Yeah. So TA is the final pick for CIS. Looks like it'll be an off-lane Bat Rider, TA in the mid, and a pretty obvious tri-lane with the Bone, Fletcher, Crystal Maiden, and Alchemist. Now, Hearts get together. They'll need a
Reserve
support
time.
with their final pick. Curious what they'll grab here. Actually, a lot of the good supports have been banned out, and it's the Tusk. So I shouldn't act like I'm surprised because we've
I
been
like
seeing
Tusk.
an increasing amount of Tusk, and boy, is he fun. I love that Walrus Punch, man.
They don't really have many things to deal with TA's refraction, and Dragon Knight has like a lot of armor, so I don't know. TA, they played it well yesterday, but at the same time, like TA is, I don't know. She's fallen off a lot in popularity, not really in terms of strength. But yeah, she is a very, very good matchup versus Invoker. But I highly doubt Invoker is going to go middle versus the TA just because that matchup's so bad.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, so part of the power of Tusk, I think it's worth reiterating here because if we have some first-time viewers that haven't been joining us the past few nights, the support Tusk might seem a little bit weird, but his kit is pretty well suited for support. The ice shards make it easy to trap people in. Snowball can be a great initiation as well as a great escape tool. We even saw yesterday some disjointing with the Snowball. Actually, in this same kind of a matchup, Tusk versus Alchemist, he blocked a couple of those unstable concoctions. So you can get pretty crafty with that Snowball. And of course, the Sigil. Oh boy, is that thing dirty.
So introducing the Dire team, we have CIS, Inflame on the TA. I believe he played it yesterday too. We have Demons on the Bat Rider. We have Rioli on the Crystal Maiden, Io on the Alchemist, and June on that Carry Clinks. This is like the same lineup, exact same lineup they ran yesterday. It looks very
pretty
similar.
Close. Yeah, a similar flavor of heroes, that's for sure. And their Clinks, man, he got crazy. He was crazy farmed. Yeah, he definitely. He did his job as the carry.
Man, Dire's ready. They have 2 smokes. That's something that you don't see very often this early into the game. This CM is pimped out too. You see this? Actually, she only has 1 item, but her hood looks pretty
The battle
redonkulonk.
begins.
Let's take a look here. The hood of the Frozen Feather. Interesting. I don't think I've
Who
seen
wins
that.
the Ice Wars, Tusk or Crystal Maiden? Who's the
Ice
true
Wars?
ice hero?
The true ice hero? Well, they're definitely both from the Arctic. I think the Tusk helmet deserves a little bit of special praise. I don't know how that little feather or whatever it is in the top is about, but it flows in the wind in a way that I don't know. It's just too epic. I got to give it. Crystal Maiden's a classic, but I want it to be Tusk. I think. I
You
think
want it
Crystal
to be
Maiden has
Tusk?
to take the cake, but I'm rooting for Tusk. He's kind of the underdog. Everybody likes a good underdog story, Merlini.
Well, Crystal Maiden's swift as the wolves of Ice Rack. She's so slow.
Yeah, it's true. She does have that dumpster movement speed. Let's talk about this Radiant side, though. We've got Team HGT. Hearts get together. Johnny down here in the safe lane on the Invoker. 1-1, 1-1 playing on the support Tusk. S will be on the Bane supporting down bottom. It will be Q playing solo mid on the Dragon Knight. And up top, it'll be an off-lane Timbersaw played by 3-3-3. And if I'm not mistaken, they've actually switched up the roles that their players are laning here. It's usually Johnny in the position 1, which isn't that crazy, but isn't 1-1, 1-1 usually their mid player? I think he is.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
I'm
I know Johnny's usually the one though.
Yeah, Johnny's usually the one. That is more consistent, but I'm pretty sure. I just remember seeing the 1-1, 1-1. I think he's been playing some Storm. He's been their mid player primarily. So interesting role reversals here. And
So Bat Rider has just completely ditched bottom lane, so this will leave Invoker up to free farm. But his CS is actually dumpster tier. 5. What exactly is dumpster tier? What percentage are we talking about when we're talking about dumpster tier? Are we talking about like 10th percentile or like 25th percentile or like 33rd?
I would say 10 is generous.
10 is generous?
For dumpster tier?
Dumpster tier?
I mean, what's below dumpster tier? What's the tier below that?
I'm
Shit
not
tier? I mean, I
shit
don't-
tier, yeah.
Okay, maybe.
So dumpster tier is if it's 10 percentile, that means there's 10. That's the worst 10 heroes in Dota.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think Morphling fits the bill for that. Of the worst 10 heroes in Dota, definitely dumpster tier.
Dumpster tier. Huskar is dumpster tier.
Huskar,
then.
yeah,
And Bloodseeker.
definitely, absolutely, yeah. You're speaking
Here
my
we go.
language, man. Oh, 3-3-3. He's in trouble. He tries to timber chain away, but they interrupt it. They won't dive to finish this off, though.
They could have done that.
Yeah,
well,
absolutely.
Alchemist is scared with that 0 armor, but they have a Bassi. They can do that.
They definitely could have dove that. I mean, he was like 1 hit, maybe 2. Yeah, I think that was an easy dive. But well, what do you do? They'll let him get away, and
You give up an easy first blood.
yeah,
That's what you do.
Yeah. So Dragonite did grab the 2-minute rune. It is a double damage that he's got on. And
Demons has switched to bottom. I did not see when this was coming out, but I think he's going to die right here. There's a 2-man snowball and a cold snap to follow.
Oh, ice shards as well.
I don't know. Why would you start off in your own jungle and then rotate bottom when you're still level 1 and then die? Like, I don't understand this play. Like, he had a stack camp right here. He could have stacked it at 3. He could have been safe, but instead we'll feed the early first blood. Also,
maybe it was the mud golems. He just saw the mud golems and said, you know what, this isn't working. I better go back to lane.
I guess so.
That's the only thing I can think of. I mean, why?
You can just get your supports to go gank because they have smokes, and then you can just use the pool camp yourself. I don't know. CIS should have had first blood, firstly, and then secondly, Batrider should be more than level 2 right now, and he shouldn't have given up first blood. But regardless, HGT off to an early good start. Experience is actually at 0. Difference in gold earned barely in favor of HGT. So even though CIS is suffering a little bit, it's not that bad.
Yeah. Looks
Here
like
we go. Smoke.
Yeah, 3-3-3 in trouble once again. He will burn the timber chain early, and Concoction connects.
Now they want to dive?
Oh, no. You're absolutely right about that, my friend. As Tusk ports in, they finish off Crystal Maiden. Well, they get the kill on Timbersaw as he stutter steps a bit, but they make it a 1-for-1.
I think that's worth it. But why would they go there when someone TPs in and not go for first blood? I don't understand.
I don't understand either. I wish I could.
Inconsistencies, man.
Yeah.
There was like almost no difference except that they were maybe like half a level higher and that Tusk TP. So I don't know. Anyways, we see Dragon Knight getting the rune. 4-minute rune will go to him. In terms of the CS wars in middle, TA is dominating him. More than double his last hits, more than double his denies. 20-10 compared to 9-4. So Inflame is just doing very well. And I mean, the TA is a smart pick when they don't really have a good hero to deal with in mid. Dragon Knight and Invoker, both of them really can't deal with her.
Yeah, now Dragonite may be in a bit of trouble here. We see a rotation from Ao and Ruoli. They are smoked up, moving into the Radiant high ground. And there is a ward on the high ground outside of the Ancients here on that 3rd level.
He's on the right side, so it's going to be very difficult. They need a trap. He needs to go like right now because the smoke's right about to pop. Pop the trap, yo!
Go for it. The trap, nope, won't go. And
he could have double trapped him.
He'll just stun himself.
This guy only has 1 trap out. Why does he only have 1 trap out? You have 5 traps max, man. Use the traps.
Again, I really wish I could give you insight.
Was this the TA player I was harping on yesterday? Because there's some things that you need to do. Firstly, you need to lay more than 1 trap.
Yeah.
That's rule number 1 for TA.
Okay.
Let's go with that.
We'll go with that. Start laying traps. Yeah, the TA yesterday, he was not quite on point.
He was like 19-6, but
with his melds.
they could have ended the game so much faster had he not like died so often.
I want to say it's the same TA, but I honestly can't quite recall here. He will connect with the trap this time.
This is no scandal.
But yeah, no scandal.
He's no scandal TA.
Yeah. Well, Invoker has turned his farm around a little bit. He's now 30-14. Did go Midas first, just about the fastest Midas you can hope for here. I think he had it right around the 5-minute mark, and he is now level 6. He will be going Quaz Exort.
Nice.
Nice. For the Exort, or nice as playing the mid lane?
Nice Exort.
Oh, okay.
Quaz Exort is more fun to watch, I'd say.
Yeah.
But
some strikes are cool.
As opposed to utility, I'd actually say Quaz X is better this game too. Because they don't really have anything to do. I mean, the EMP is just really strong. It's also very good at counter-initiating bat. Use Tornado, and then you waste so much duration of the lasso. Is incredible.
Yeah.
So.
Well, Dragonite has gotten every single rune so far, and he still is losing this last hit battle pretty darn hard. 19-5 now against the 32-14 TA, so Inflame, he's okay now getting the runes, honestly. I think he'll take the trade, and we'll just continue racking up these last hits. Elder Dragon form popped. We'll just chip at the tower, but doesn't really do too much. Let's take a look at the supports here, and it's pretty even across the board. The Radiant sides have a slight advantage. Tusk is level 4, Bane level 3, and on the side of CIS, CM, as well as Alk are both level 3. So a very small experience edge going the way of our Radiant team.
The big loser is Bat. I think. He's only level 3. Timber's level... Oh, wait, he's level 6? Never mind. There is no big loser.
Yeah.
I thought he was level 3. I don't know what I was seeing. Maybe I clicked on the Bane.
Yeah, you must have, because Bat's actually a little bit ahead of the Timbersaw, and actually there's a golden experience edge the way of CIS, just about 750 apiece, even though they are trailing by 1 hero kill.
June's getting big.
Yeah, June's...
he's our CS leader.
Absolute free farm heaven. He's got the first Oblivion set. He's going to go for a super fast Orchid. It looks like maybe even Orchid before Treads.
It's not going to be faster. It could be faster than the other game that we saw.
Yeah. I think he went Treads first the other game.
Yeah, he did. He had Treads Orchid, I think, in 13. 12 or 13.
Well, this time he'll get the last hit on the tower. I was going to say solo tower kill, but that doesn't make any sense. He got the last hit on the tower, so a huge gold burst
bottom
going his
lane.
way. And, uh-oh. Lasso used on Johnny. And I think Johnny might be okay here. The cold snap, he won't even use it. No, Johnny will die.
He doesn't want to turn around.
Yeah.
That's why. The increase in turn rate is the most annoying thing about Batrider, by far.
Yeah. But with Bane inbound, I mean, isn't that one of those situations where you're going to die anyway? You might as well at least just throw the cold snap, or...
It would have been close. I think he was hoping that the Bane would sleep, and then he'd be able to run out of Firefly range.
Okay.
But Batrider was, like, right on top of him. So, I mean, that's really nice play by Batrider, because he has, like, no items. Now he has Blink. He just killed him with just brown boots. And Invoker should have had a Forge Spirit Invoke. That's what he should have done.
That's a really fast Blink. He'll have it up at the 8.5 minute mark.
I don't know. He was, like, level 1, like... 2 minutes in, gave first blood, and then boom, Blink Dagger.
This is one of these games where I just want to be able to rewind and see what the Batrider did exactly. Timbersaw fell to a solo Clinks up top. I actually just missed that, but, well, add another one to the board, and we're talking about how big June was. I think we need to change that to is.
Q is hasted up in middle, Frost Shards miss, and yeah, TA is just able to walk away. Yeah, I still don't... Invoker should not have died there. If you have a Force Spirit up, you can turn around Cold Snap, and then you can start running away, and then the Force Spirits will proc Cold Snap. But for some reason, he has Sunstrike invoked. Like, you don't need Sunstrike versus a Batrider.
Yeah, you gotta practice that invoking. That's what it's all about.
Quad Exort is strong if you know what spells to use at the right time.
Yeah, the key is the Forge. So he hasn't actually pulled a Forge Spirit out yet.
There's a smoke
that I've seen.
Bane and Tusk, but neither of them are level 6.
Q is in big trouble. The lasso to start it off. Concoction, and TA will...
I know what they're thinking right now. They're like, WTF, how does this mofo have Blink right now? That's Dragon Knight's like, what in the world's going on?
Yeah, he should be surprised. I mean, there was a big triple stack here in the Dire jungle, so... Maybe that was how he got the ball rolling, and then when he went back to lane, was level 6 and got that solo kill. His farm got out of control.
Yeah, I don't know how.
Way faster than it should have by my standards. But look at this gold graph now, 4,000 in their favor. By them, I mean the Dire. Although
Inflame's in very compromising position.
There's the Chakram, snowball forward, refraction will buy him a little bit of time.
He has 9 seconds left on his refract. He like uses it right when he's about to take damage as opposed to preemptively. Like if you have a double refract, maybe your team can save you, but he never has double refracts, which is why I don't particularly like this TA player. But
well, conversely, Clinks does have his Orchid up here right around the 10-minute mark.
He is fat.
That is big Clinks. They will converge on him. And I don't know that they have detection, which will serve as an issue. Oh, they do have dust. Okay. They hit Clinks with it, but unfortunately they don't hit him with anything else. And he'll just skeleton walk away. That's a dust wasted.
That's a lot of time wasted, too.
Well, that as well.
They have the medallion up on the Alk, so they can do Roger very easily. With TA tanking, with Clinks for the deeps, with Batrider protecting them, and the medallion and Acid Spray, there is no way Roshan can stand the wrath of the mighty CIS team. Looks like the 10-minute rune was on bottom. He's just micro delusions, bro.
So what's interesting here, though, Merlini, is oh, actually, you know what? No, I have this backwards. HGT is the lower seeded team right now. They are the team 1 and 3. They have the worst record of the 4. So this is sort of what we would expect. Actually, pull up Dota 2 Lounge. What are the bets here? While we
Let's check it out.
The action. I'm actually rather curious because the bets have been all over the place.
I would say slight favor CIS. Looks like 60-40.
60-40. Yeah, that sounds about right. I think if just based on the numbers 2-2, 1-3, that sounds fair. Yeah,
judging by their play yesterday too, all these teams are on fairly even playing field.
Yeah.
So I don't think any of these odds should be like more than 2-1 in favor of any team.
Yeah, I would definitely agree. Now Clinks will have his power treads. You talked about the 13-minute mark is the benchmark from the last game. Here we're looking at about 11:30, so that's a considerable better amount of farm. In the top, Timbersaw will be in some trouble. He'll get lassoed, orchided, and they'll have plenty of damage to finish him off. Now the snowball forward. He actually walrus punches a creep. Oh, 1-1-1-1.
If he snowballed the Clinks would have died there.
Yeah.
Into a walrus punch, but instead he goes for a wrong target.
Yeah, he has a dust as well as phase boots. That was definitely a kill. Dragon Tail was ready and waiting. Oh, the misplays. That hurts. That one was painful.
Yeah, now CIS is getting way too far ahead. No one can farm out safely. He was under the cover of his T2 tower. He was like right outside of the T2 tower, and he still can't farm safely. So for a somewhat tanky hero like Timbersaw, that's bad news for Invoker and the rest of the crew.
Yeah.
Invoker doesn't really have any items to show. He just has Treads and Midas. He has Midas at 5 minutes, and in 7 minutes he's farmed to Treads.
Yeah. Well, he's the breadwinner right now. Number 2 on the net worth chart. Really the only one farming well on the Radiant side.
Flame gets rolled in mid.
Oh, God. Yeah, you're right. Well, they'll find a kill there. So this Invoker, I mean, yeah, he'll start to carry eventually once he kind of comes online, but they're still in this early stage.
Their team fight's much better, though.
Yeah, the Midas hasn't really kicked in yet.
Like, their 5-on-5, I think, is much stronger than CIS's. Like, TA's not very strong on 5-on-5. Clinks is not that strong either. I mean, he does have that early Orchid, and he's just going to be split pushing. So HGT are trying to force a 5-man down to mid, but they just can't. With the split push, pressure of the Clinks is just a little bit too much, and he's just rocking all their towers, and only one T1 tower will fall. They need that. They probably should get that down before they go for Roshan. Looks like TA's TPing back mid, looking at Batrider. He has Blink Up, but he doesn't have Firefly, so I doubt we'll see a Firefly gank anytime soon.
TA looks to be working towards a fast BKB, phase boots into an Ogre club, usually a pretty good indicator of magic immunity. Crystal Maiden still doesn't have too much to her name. Tranquil boots up and just working.
Oh, they're going for a Roche before.
Yeah,
I think they know though. They have an observer ward there, so they could Sunstrike right now if he wanted to. Unfortunately, he does not have Sunstrike Invoke. He does have Force Spears finally, but too much minus armor. There's a DD. There's minus 15 armor on Roshan. That bad boy is gone. They are way too slow at reacting. They saw with this ward too, or sorry, with this ward. So.
Yeah, they were at the very least suspicious, but they'll take their time getting over, and now we'll see some action start to pursue. Well, Orchid will come out onto the Timber Saw.
Flame break.
Nice flame break indeed. One more auto attack ought to do it. He will die to the wrath of the Orchid. Now, on the backside, actually TA picks off the Dragon Knight. Clinks will initiate onto Johnny. The lasso, they saved it. They didn't need it for the Timber Saw, and they'll use it on the Invoker. An easy 3-0. This could be a quick game 1 here, Merlini. CIS with a lot of momentum. I think they'll be able to clear out this Tier 1 tower mid as well.
Yep. HGT did not draft for lane dominance. CIS did. TA crushed the DK in middle. The Batrider apparently crushed Invoker in bottom too, because he had a 9-minute blink and he got a solo kill. And then top lane, Timbersaw couldn't really do anything. So they won all 3 lanes. Now they all got their first big item too, with the Batrider with the blink and the Templar, and the Clinks with the Orchid. And now, I mean, HGT still takes a while to get online, and Tusk just melts.
Yeah, he just went man mode, no support inbound, and he did get dropped. Bane walks away with a few hit points to spare. Timber trying to do some damage. The Chakram, well, it's channeling, but it's not doing a hell of a lot. TA takes a cold snap. Meteor comes down. They finally finish off the Bane. That will proc the TA's Aegis. Coming back up here in just 1 second. And in Flame, he's in trouble. He doesn't have Refraction, and he will go down. So at least find a kill on the carry Templar Assassin.
He's like trying to trudge up the hill through the Chakram when his team doesn't really have anything to back him up. And then, I mean, that was just a complete waste of the Aegis.
Yeah. And they got a kill after it. But still, 10,000 gold lead, 10,000 experience.
It's hard to throw.
Yeah, Clinks is 5-0-0. So even without the TA, this Clinks, man, he is huge. He's now got a Demon Edge and another 1,200 in the bank. He's already hitting for over 200.
He's very efficient, too. I see some of the Clinks before, they like death pack first and then clear the creep camp. You should do it last so you have maximum uptime after you walk away. And you don't want your death pack to run out as you're trying to go for a kill. So it looks like they are going to smoke in mid. Batrider does have his lasso up. Bane or Tusk is going to be dead.
Clinks is just going to go straight for the Invoker. He'll get a solo kill on Johnny. Meanwhile, the rest of the team will set up this kill onto Tusk. The lasso used. An easy 2-0. Nightmare out on the Alchemist. Fiend's Grip will be used on the TA. Chakram whirling on top. But Bane gets dropped. Down goes the Dragon Knight. We've got 1 left. It's a 5-0. Ultra kill on the Clinks.
There were none.
Woo! This Clinks, look how fat he is. He's doubling everyone on net worth. 11K. Next highest is Batrider at 6.5. He's level 14 at the 16-minute mark.
Oh my goodness, they're going to take this triple stack too. This is a disaster.
Wow.
This is
Wow.
Wow.
I think this is borderline over. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, a lot of teams with GG at this point. After
Yeah.
that wipe, they're just like, well, Klinks is stacked. We don't have anything.
I mean, Invoker is the only one that's beating the supports on CIS. Look at that net worth chart. He's the only green amongst the red. The other 4 of HGT are in the bottom 4 positions. And
Dumpster tier of net worth. I guess everyone would be Bane. 10 percentile.
But, yeah, they can't all be 10 percentile, but still. I mean, Johnny's the only one with OK farm. It looks like he's going for a Necro Book of all items. Not even a Force Staff.
Necrobook is not that useful here.
Yeah, I guess they're looking for detection to deal with Klinks and TA, but it's an odd choice.
It's too late. Like,
Yeah.
by the time they pop it, someone's going to be dead. I would like the Force Staff too. It doesn't do anything against Batrider either, and Batrider is going to be initiating in the big team fights.
Yeah, I mean,
But-
Force Staff is core on Invoker pretty much regardless, but especially against this lineup, I think he really needs it.
Yeah, Yules would be okay. It wouldn't be that terrible. He can cyclone off the. Well, this tower's going to drop. He could cyclone off the Orchid. He can also cyclone the Batrider to counter initiate a lasso. But when you're this far behind, I mean, I guess he's going for a long shot, which is the split push with the Necro Book.
Well, up top, they will start pressuring this tier 1 tower.
If they had the Aegis here, man,
Comes
they'd
out
be
for
in
the dive.
such a good position to push.
Yeah, but they will just move straight into the tier 3s. No glyph up for the Radiant side. HGT, they can't even defend this. Look how far back they are in the base. Batrider finds Timbersaw with a lasso. Easy kill to start off this fight. Dragon Knight wanders in. He takes an Orchid to the face. He tries to make an escape, but yeah, that ain't happening. Bane on the high ground throws a Fiend's Grip. Klinks gets vision, and say goodbye to your Bane Elemental. Another 3 for nil. Everyone at full health on CIS. And there's
Invoker had to
GG.
be there. Why was Invoker not there? They're trying to defend their T3. Everyone's there but him. Come on, man. Help your team out. So-
Come on, Johnny.
Just a lot of small misplays, I think, from HGT. And slight draft issues, too. Like, the DK Invoker, like, you probably should pick one or the other. Like, Invoker is not that great versus TA, but at least he can do something, at least when it comes to team fights and when it comes to counter ganking. But Dragon Knight just really had no impact in that game at all. And
Yeah.
Invoker didn't really either. So they took heroes that took way too long to get online, and
I mean,
they didn't draft to win lanes.
Dragon Knight, he just got whooped in the mid lane.
That's
I
no
mean-
surprise, though. It's a TA
I mean,
versus a
TA
DK.
should beat him, but should she beat him that handily? That was
Yeah, I'd say
more
so.
than doubling his CS. Okay.
If TA just purely concentrates on CS with Refract and doesn't even bother with
See,
rest.
and that was one of those mid matchups where we think of runes as like, oh, you got to get the runes, but while
he left the lane too
yeah,
often.
while DK was walking around picking up runes, TA was just racking up the last hits.
Yeah,
So
so
the rune control was almost a double-edged sword there. Not almost, it was.
I know that. Well, that is something that you have to be concerned about in your middle play. Well, Hearts to get together, they need to get their draft better. They didn't really have a clear-cut game plan. They had like semi-push with a Quasi-Exort Invoker and the Dragon Knight, but they didn't really have good enough early game. Tuska's decent, but they weren't able to pick up enough kills with her. And like Bane Tusk, yeah, it's like so they need a little bit more damage. And their lanes just got pooped on.
Yeah. That's really all. And Klinks as well. I mean, the top
They need to
lane,
ban Klinks.
Yeah, I think they should as well. Timbersaw, he did not do well in the top lane. He got lucky that they didn't pursue him for the first split. It would have been even worse if they had secured that kill. They even gave him a pass to get things started, and still
Yeah.
they secured another kill. Klinks got that tower, and after that, I mean, anytime a Klinks is getting a 10-minute Orchid, you're doing something wrong, I think.
Yeah, I think they either need to aggro try against a Klinks or ban him out. One or the other. They can't do a safe lane. They're too greedy to deal with a safe lane Klinks. Because once Klinks gets the Orchid, your greed is just gone to shame. Because Invoker, he has Midas. He has like an equal farm, at least in the first 10 minutes, but he's just going to get Orchided and instant killed by the Klinks. So either aggro try or ban Klinks. That's the first step to victory. Secondly, draft a better mid for lane control. I think they either should ban TA or just pick a better mid. Like Viper would just crush TA.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, as you mentioned right from the get-go, they had nothing to deal with Refraction. They had no like high instance, low damage abilities, no poison, no
Chakram's
dots.
like the best, but it's not that great.
It's that's not ideal. TA and even I mean that TA played is mediocre fair. I mean that wasn't even like a total
The
ridiculous.
Klinks and the Bat are
Yeah.
Klinks and the Bat are good at their heroes.
Yeah.
The TA is like mediocre, and she's still dominated.
Still just wrecked them.
Yeah,
so.
if they have a Viper in mid instead, and
Yeah.
then like a regular carry instead of Invoker farming,
Mhm.
then I think the game would have been a lot different. So
Yeah.
they need to go back to the drawing boards, look at the heroes that actually do well versus TA. There's a reason she's not popular. It's because OD, Razor, and Viper were really popular, and those all three of them crushed TA. So now all three of those have kind of phased out. TA is making a way back in, but you can always go back to the drawing board, Look at
Go
why
back
she
to
faded
those,
out.
those classic counters.
Yeah, why not? Those 3 heroes are so freaking good, but people don't pick up on them. I don't know why. They just like what are you gonna do versus a Viper mid as a TA? Like nothing. You're gonna get dominated. You're gonna get pooped on.
Hope that your supports can make a couple of rotations.
Yes,
I mean, that's about it.
But even after that,
still,
what do you do? Like in team fights, you get Viper struck. You're like, well, I'm boned. You get BKB, you still get Viper struck.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Viper
Viper is her worst nightmare.
Yeah, Viper. Well, that's game 1. A quick game 1. We've got 3 more games coming up. Again.
Wait, so if Hearts loses this, are they out of the running?
Let's take a look here, my friend. Actually, we can pull up the round robin here. I believe I have an overlay set up for it. Nope, of course I do not have the overlay. Who changed this? Son of a... so, HGT, yeah, they're going to be 1-4. Even if they win this game, I think it's very unlikely that they'll make the top 2. I think it's impossible for HGT to make top 2 now. So, and then there were 3.
Yeah. So the question is, are they going to be fighting like the best that they can? Because sometimes when teams are in this position where the win or loss doesn't matter, they actually just screw around.
You do goofy stuff
and just play purely experimental. But at the same time, it depends on how much they like the other team. If they don't like the other team, then they try as hard as they can. If they like the other team, they go goof around. So
unfortunately, we don't have a lot of insight into the drama amongst these,
we need
these lower
we
tier
need an
Chinese
insider
teams.
here.
Yeah, we need an insider. We asked Tusky as our insider. So, all right, guys, we'll have a short break. Game 2 of CIS versus HGT will be coming up next. Thank you for joining us. Don't go anywhere. More Dota coming your way.